Yes guys, and welcome to another video. Now, you've probably been thinking, where have you been? It's been a good 2-3 days, maybe 4 days since the last video. Where's the rumours? What's been going on? Nothing. And that's quite literally why there hasn't been any videos. Literally nothing. There's been barely anything for me to cling on to make a video to keep you guys updated. Not even any real rumours. So hit the like button for me. Subscribe if you're new. Take a seat. There's plenty of room. Make yourself a brew. And maybe even a biscuit. Treat yourself to a bicky, a chocolate hobnob, as we sit ourselves at the bottom of the barrel and scrape away. Enjoy. No, but in all seriousness, there is a couple of little bits and pieces that I am going to go over, so it is probably going to be a relatively short and sweet video, but it is just keeping you guys up to date, and it is something, I guess. And as you can see, this guy here, he has been in the headlines somewhat. But yeah, before we do get into it, if you can hit the subscribe button, I've been asking quite a lot recently. I don't really like doing it, but you guys seem to be listening. There's so many of you guys that are regularly viewing the videos and hopefully you're enjoying them, but you're not yet subscribed, which I just think is absolutely horrendous behaviour. But no, I'm only joking. But yeah, subscribe if you would. That'd be very, very kind of you. But getting into it. So, Adil Aouchiche, currently on screen here. He has been linked heavily with a loan move to Portsmouth. Now, with Adil Aouchiche, I don't know about you guys, of course, let me know your opinions in the comments down below. I feel like he has been managed appallingly, horrendously. I really think he's been mismanaged to the highest degree in terms of, if you said to me, early December, Adil Aouchiche, he's going to go in January. I'd say fair enough. He hasn't had the game time. He's barely been getting in the squad at all or what have you. He's a player that needs to be playing. Let's sell him up. But then we had a couple of injuries, didn't we? We had Mundle and Watson as well. And then we played him every game up until Lafay came. And in every one of those games, I don't think he put too much of a foot wrong. I'm not saying he had 10 out of 10 games every game. Of course not. But he didn't put much of a foot wrong. He absolutely contributed and he absolutely shown value in the team. So I thought, if Lafay was going to come in, of course, I'm saying Lafay is going to be head and shoulders above Adil Aouchiche. However, he's not even getting in off the bench or anything like that. He's just completely shunned out. And I think that is just very poor treatment of the lad who didn't put a foot wrong. Do you know what I mean? And I know that you could argue as well, Mundle's going to come back, Watson's going to come back, we're going to play him. We've already got Lafay who was there on that side as well. But he brings something different to those, and it probably isn't fair of me to want him to stay, but I just think the way he has been managed has been poor, and he absolutely deserves first team minutes and appearances. And I think at a team like Portsmouth, he will be a figurehead there, and he will be more of a key figure in that side. Not to look down upon Pompey at all. But he will be much more of a key figure, and I think he could contribute in that side. I think he'd walk into it. He's got that much quality. It's just with the team we've got at the moment, the system we play, I just don't see where we're going to fit a deal at the moment. Again, with the injuries that are coming back as well. So he absolutely deserves first team minutes, and I think he could thrive. And I don't know whether that would be a loan and then an obligation to buy on Portsmouth's end. I don't know. But if you give him, 3-4 months of regular game time at Portsmouth, or however long it is, and he's actually playing really well, which I think he has the ability to do so, and shine, we could get a totally different beast coming back to us from a loan spell, and we might look at him totally differently, because he is only, 22 years of age, and I just think he just needs a good run of games, and he'll get that at somewhere like Portsmouth. So like I say, we might end up getting a totally different player coming back, and I think it would be very good for all parties concerned, because Portsmouth would be getting a very good creative player, and we could be getting someone, doubly as good coming back come the end of the season. We'll see anyway how that develops, but there has been a lot of reports, mainly from down south, reporting on this, so that's one to keep an eye on. Now, in terms of incomings, as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, it is running dry pretty drastically. That friggin' has been mentioned a couple of times here and there, but that didn't really warrant a video. But there has been a little bit of steam moving in regards to Cameron Archer, of course, young striker who's currently at Southampton. Now, Southampton are they're in a torrid place at the minute. Of course, they're in the Premier League, which is where we want to be, but they've had an absolutely horrible season. They're getting beat week in, week out pretty much. And the thing is with Cameron Archer, and he only went this season, didn't he? And he has had parts to play wherever he's played. And he's played over 20 games for Southampton this season. It's not like he's sat on the bench and not playing. I don't think anyone's really performing particularly greatly in that Southampton side. No one's particularly shining for me. And it's always going to be difficult anyway. But he is getting games. He's playing. He's coming off the bench. He's starting some games. Yeah, he scored a couple of goals, but again, in the struggling Southampton side, it's like, what can you do? It takes a hell of a lot to really shine in that side because they have been that poor for me, Southampton, which I don't think is a controversial opinion to have. It takes a hell of a lot to shine in that team. But everywhere else he's been, he scored a few goals. He's not necessarily someone who I think if we do get in, I don't think he will immediately take over Isidore. I don't. I think he will absolutely give him some fantastic competition. We were only linked with Archer, I think it was last season, and I really wanted him in. He's played like, Sheffield United, done very well there. Preston, he's done well wherever he's gone. Of course, he was based, I think it was Aston Villa. A long time ago, come through their academy. Could be wrong, but I think he was there for a while, went through his younger years. But he's definitely a player who I would like. Now, and I think if we did go for someone like that to go up alongside Isidore, or at least give him competition, I think that would be with the mindset of maybe Rodgers is seeing Mayenda as someone who's going to give Roberts competition on the right-hand side, as opposed to Mayenda going straight up top. But it's just an option, isn't it, for him? So if we did want to see Mayenda stretch him up top, we could do. I prefer seeing Mayenda down the middle, personally. And I would like to see another winger come in to give Roberts competition, because there isn't really anyone there at the moment other than Mayenda. But yeah, I think at the moment, Rodgers is... I think that this is what he was talking about with the previous game, there's been a lot of anger and annoyance, and that's totally understandable, by the way, with Samed starting in the previous game. And basically what Rodgers come out and said is that he's trying to build his options for different circumstances and scenarios. And it wouldn't surprise me if he started Samed again against Borough, which I'm going to get into in another video, probably later on in the weekend, potentially, for the preview for the game. But I'm not too sure whether that will happen. I don't know. But I think he's trying to build just a different option. And I've seen so many people pile on Samed, which I don't think is fair. I know we had an indifferent game last time out, but we need to remember is he hasn't played for the best part of 6 months. He's still building up his minutes. And I know some people will say, well, bring him on for the last 20 minutes of a game, 25 minutes, and build it there. But I think he's just trying to give us more options, and he wants to see Dhannoo push forward a bit. But yeah, it's one of them. I'm going a bit off topic there, but it's just one of them. It's trying to build options for me. It's just how you do it and managing players' minutes and stuff like that, because we could end up with a load of options, but he still kind of plays the same team, Rodgers. He doesn't like to rotate too much. And he did it, didn't he, against Plymouth, and it backfired, didn't it? So he might be a little bit more hesitant. But we absolutely need options. I've seen a few people concerned. I mean, I can understand why, again, but with the rumours dying down. But how many times have we written off Christian Speakman and think, oh God, there's no rumours, we're not hearing anything, it's radio silence and all that kind of stuff. But then it just bangs on deadline day, and he'll pull off some cracking signings. So I do have a lot of faith in Christian Speakman, but it is very, very dry, the rumour mill at the moment. We do generally go quite quietly about our business, and then it just pops up out of nowhere. It wouldn't surprise me if we do see something happen over the weekend or deadline day itself. But yeah, I would be excited. I would expect a handful, maybe a good 3 or 4 players to come in come deadline day. But we'll see. There's been a couple of rumours here and there. I think there's one, Michael Keane was actually rumoured as well, but I think that come from a really shitty source and with someone who had like 10 followers on Twitter. But other than that, it has been that dry. But that is pretty much everything, guys. I know it has been a very short one, but it's been very, very dry. But yeah, so let me know what you think. How do you feel about the potential outgoing of Adil Aouchiche? Do you agree with that? Would you like to see him stay and get minutes, or how would you deal with the situation? And Cameron Archer, would you be excited with that one? Let me know in the comments also. But please hit the like button for me. It's massively appreciated during these dry spells. And we're not playing until Monday as well, so I'll probably give you the preview to the game on Sunday, potentially. Anyway, so yeah, subscribe if you're new. Take care, stay jammy, heads up, keep the faith. However, lads.